Yeah, this is Kunta Kenyatta. I'm down here in Akron, kicking it with my old school partner, Porky. Let them know about the city where you from.
Oh, I live in the Rubber
You
City.
can cut that.
Uh-huh.
You can cut
Let
that.
me see. Let me put this down. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta be right. Wait a minute. I'm trying to.
Okay,
Wait a minute. Hey, let's step right.
mm-hmm.
You know.
What year was it?
It was 1962.
And you graduate. What school you graduate from?
Garfield.
Garfield.
Garfield High School.
Mm-hmm. So, tell them about how it was when you got down there to Mansfield.
Oh, when I got down to Mansfield, I had just graduated from high school. Now, with me being 17 years old, I never knew nothing about no penitentiary and what guys did there. All I knew that I had an uncle that was there. My father's younger brother, he was there. So when I got down there in 1962, the only thing I knew about a prison was what I seen on TV. Now let me tell you something. Mansfield was off the hook. I'm young, didn't have no hair on my face. And it started one day when the coal pile came in there. They're supposed to be the ruthless group of guys that's at that time there. So they had me working in the dining room. I'm collecting trays. So this particular time, when they come in there, one of the guys, they had been down there for years. He threw a kiss at me. I'm looking at it, what this dude is doing. So the dude said, man, you better get together. They trying to. I said, what? So I got a pipe. The next day that he came in there, he put his tray down and threw like a kiss at me. And why did he do that? Why did he do that? I walked up behind him and I piped him. I was beating him with that pipe. And they pulled me off of him. I go to the hole. So the next day I had to go to court. And it was lieutenants, captains, sergeants, running the court.
Mm-hmm.
They said, oh. So you the one that brought down Shy. He's been a pain in our ass ever since he's been down here. What we're going to tell you to do is you have a good day and try to stay out of trouble. At that time, they didn't do anything to me. So when that happened, my name ranged around the institution like wildfire. Everybody said, did you hear what Eddie Porter's nephew did to Shy? And then after that point, being there, it was one for the books because I knew that I had to become a man because I was in a real live jungle. A person wouldn't have no understanding what I'm talking about if they've never been in that situation. More or less, the institutions today, you're more protected, but you weren't protected. I was 17 years old, and I survived the belly of the beast. I brought all the manhood, made me the man that I am today, because I had to learn at a young age to survive. And with that said, I got out and I did good. I did real good. Then this next situation that I was in years and years and years later, where I had to go back. I went back. Don't get me wrong. I had good jobs and all that. I say this when I went back. This guy was fooling with somebody in my family, my sister. And any real man is not going to let nobody mess with his sisters, his mama, or anybody else. So one thing led to another, and I had to mess him up real bad. I did everything but killed him. And I went and did 8 years flat, standing on my head with my chest out because I know if I had to do it all over again, I would do it, but I would do it in a different way. And since I've been home, I'm going on 4 years. I've been home going on 4 years now, and my life been peaches and cream because I know I'm a survivor. You know, I have a house, I have a car, I'm retired, and man, believe me, man, I have peace of mind. It's just like me being reborn all over again. I say I get with a lot of my friends. We kick the good, the bad, and ugly around. But I tell anybody, especially these young kids that's out here now, that's doing all this crazy, wild stuff, you don't have a clue of what you're getting yourself into. Because a lot of times you get there, and it's going to take a hell of a while to get out of there. It's just the way it is. It's the way they got it set up. But like I say, my life has been good. I'm settled down, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. See, the way the institutions is made today, it's not hardcore like it was years ago when I went. You know, you could almost survive. But baby, let me tell you the things I seen. Listen, it was a madhouse.
Yeah, back when you first went down, they didn't have no Lucasville. They had the old OP. You know, that was the one where they had sent you to.
Right, they had back then. The only thing they had was the OP in Columbus, Ohio, Mansfield in Mansfield, Ohio, and you had another couple federal joints. But this is where everybody went. This is where everybody went to them. And then over the years, they opened up Lucasville. It's maximum security. All the hardcore. If you go to Lucasville, you're doing Buck Rogers time. They know, and then you got some real live rapists, killers. They don't care. And I could tell you some more stories about Lucasville. I have a few people that's been there. They could tell you the same thing. The only thing I'm mostly I wish my heart would go out to these young boys that's out here doing all this killing, shooting. Hey man, it ain't even worth it, man. Get your life together, get you a job, get you a good woman. If you got some kids, raise your kids. And that's what it's all about.
No doubt.
My whole fear when I was locked up was my mother. My mother, the one that kept me going, because I didn't want nothing to happen to my mother while I was gone. I didn't want nothing to happen to anybody in my family while I was gone. And if you don't have family support when you're in situations like that, sometimes you fall by the wayside, like so many guys do. But hey, like I say, life is good. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. I don't be out in the streets. I don't have to be no exhibitionist. I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. I don't have to do none of that stuff. I'm my own man.
You picked up some trades too in there, you know.
Oh yeah, well I had a few trades still, and you know I'm a licensed barber. I've been cutting hair since I was 16 and 17 years old, and while I was away, I just happened to work in the staff barber shop, cutting the COs, nurses, social workers, everybody's here like that. And I just got away with people. I know how to talk to people. I know how to treat people, and that's the main thing. Is when you're in a situation like that, you have to know how to deal with people, talk to people, and you just can't be running around. Hey, listen, it's one for the books. That's all I could tell you. I'm a survivor. I'm here. I'm 76 years old, and I'm having a ball. I wouldn't trade for nothing in the world. It's just that I just wanted to share some of this here, hoping some of these young guys would see this. And you throwing your life away. You don't know how to. Life is good. You got to earn your way. You got to earn your way through society. I come home, listen, a lot of things that I used to do, I don't even have no desire to do anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have no desire. I don't run the streets. Now listen, most I have to do is somebody have a birthday party, or where I run to everybody at is the gas stations and at the funeral home. People that I haven't seen in years, they're who I run into them at the funeral home and in the grocery stores and the gas stations. And my mother, she's 95. I spend a lot of time with her, and that's because she blessed me. Out of my brothers and sisters, I'm the only one you would really call the black sheep in my family coming up, because I had a hard head. I wouldn't listen. It took that for me to realize how good a life I had coming up. But most of the young people don't want to listen to their parents. They tell you that you can't blame everything on the parents. You got a lot of girls out here, single mothers, trying to raise these 2 or 3 kids by themselves. It's hard for them to run into a good man.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for them girls to run into a good man, especially if they already got kids.
Yeah.
If you run into a man and you got kids, and he willing to accept you and them kids, girl, you better hold on to him. I'm telling you. You want to see be with these guys that selling drugs and dressing, man, they ain't. Tell one of them to pay some bills for you, to pay your rent. Come on. Life is good. I'm having a ball. I'm sitting here with my friend now, Kenyatta. And man, listen, we talk about everything because we both been through the same turmoil. We survivors. We survivors. So you gotta ask me some questions. Yeah.
So yeah, we met at the car wash at the Odessa back there in the shop. Tell us a little bit about that, your experience up there.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you about this here. I had come home. I had come home, and my brother was a bus driver. Kevin Porter, he was a bus driver. So he came. This is my first week home. He came to the house and said, "Hey, Porky, I know where they hiring at." He said, "Get dressed and I'll be to pick you up, Friday morning." With that said, I was sitting there waiting on him. So when we get out to Odessa, we go into the personnel office, and there was 2 young ladies working in there. And I told them right off the bat, I said, "Listen, I just come home. I'm trying to get my life together." And and then they said, I told them this here. I said, "If you give me a job at this company," I said, "I'll never be late, and I ain't gonna miss no days." They said, the lady said, "Well, we ain't never heard that before." They said, "Well, Mr. Porter, you got one more hurdle to go over." I said, "Well, what's that?" They said, "Take this paper and go to Sagamore Hills and get a drug test." Then I started smiling. They said, "Why are you smiling?" I said, "No disrespect to you young ladies." I said, "My urine is so pure I could sell it on the black market." And they started laughing too. So I went up to Sagamore Hills and took the drug test that Friday. That Tuesday, they called me on the phone and said, "Mr. Porter, can you report to work?" Oh man! And I was blessed because I only had been home from the joint for about a week. So when I go out there, end up working out there 9.5 years. I was getting ready to retire. Until that last incident I told you about, it happened with my mom and my sister. I say, but everything was cool up there. That's where I met Kenyatta. He came up there one time during the sale. They had the sales on Thursday. He came up there and seen me in the cafeteria and said, "Hey man, are they hiring?" And I pointed him to where the office was and went in there. Eventually, within a week, he was hired with me. So I had somebody there because we worked in the recon department where we were furnishing cars, for the Thursday sale that they would have. And Kenyatta said he had it made. He was a head buffer, and they had assembly line, and that's what the recon department consists of. Assembly line, because they bring in repossessed cars that the bank then took, all this here mess is best. But what we be trying to do is clean them up, get them ready for the sale on Thursdays, and that's what we did.
Yeah, y'all, that's my old school partner, Akron's finest, Porky. I said, aka Killer Porter.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.